They call him the Kiwi Mini Volk. Well, they don't, but they imply it. Let's find out why. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event. Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside. Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history? Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because...
Welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tinley and today's guest is fighting for his teammates. Hex Fight Series Bantamweight title May 31st against Liam Gusti. Of course, it's Kasib Murdoch, his teammate being Colby Thicknesse, which was the previous champion, moved on to the UFC. Both boys training out of Freestyle MMA. And Kasib joins us to talk about his life in fighting and why he came across from New Zealand, how he got into mixed martial arts, why he joined freestyle and, the city kickboxing in New Zealand. So... Kasib's a very, very, very highly touted amateur, and many people are very high on his career and what he can be as a professional. Like I said, some people even allude to him being like a little mini Volk in his style and work ethic, which is, renowned among many. Now, critiques of his game have been a few of his opponents have been very well beneath who you would expect him to take. He gets to answer those critiques and why he has taken some of those fights in Bali. And you can't really blame him. But May 31st, we get to see him hopefully be crowned, if you're in his camp, as he takes on Liam Gusti. May 31st, Hex Fight Series 35 for the Bantamweight Championship. Now, if you're an event, just like Hex, or maybe you're a gym, and you want insurance, make sure you hit up combatsportsinsurance.au. Just understand what it's like to be a fight gym or fight promotion or whatever you're doing. Got any questions, hit them up. Also, thanks to our gym partner, Drillich Combat Academy, and of course, Vex MMA. Hit them up, vexmma.com for all your gear, shirts, all that sort of stuff. All right, guys, without further ado, it is Kasib Murdoch. And we'd like to take the time to thank our gym partner, DCA, the home of Australian MMA champion Anthony Drillich and aspiring athletes. If you'd like to know more, head to drillichcombatacademy.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Kasib Murdoch, mate, welcome.
G'day, mate. How are we? Thank you for having me.
Oh, mate, it's an absolute pleasure. I think last time I had you, it was basically just hijacked by Colby Thicknesse.
Yeah, Bali, one of the Bali trips, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which you may as well live over there. That's why you were fighting that long.
Yeah, pretty much a local over there now.
Did you have any fun when you were in Bali?
Yeah, every time was pretty fun actually. I didn't get to spend like too much more time there after fights, but just being there for fight week and leading up to it each time, yeah, lots of fun.
Let me ask you a harder question. You can tell me go fuck myself if you want. But why were you fighting on Kangaroo Fight Night? Like Cangoo. I call it Kangaroo because there's a lot of cans. But like, why were you fighting like guys so well beneath you?
To be honest, they were taking fights that other people wouldn't. Is the short and easy answer. I thought I could be fighting better people as well. And I thought, to be honest, I think the Aussie scene definitely has better people. But for whatever reason, a lot of those guys weren't taking the fight.
Why do you think that was?
I think I was definitely like a tough kind of starting out pro to match because I was on like debut, but I also had a pretty decent amateur record. But then, I don't know, like debuts didn't want to fight me because I had an experienced amateur record. And then more experienced guys were like, no, I'm not fighting a debut. Like that gets nothing for me. So it was pretty frustrating for me. So when I got offered the fight in Bali and they were happy to take it, I was pretty happy.
So you were too good.
I don't know. I don't want to say that, but I don't know. Maybe people had stuff on, or some people had excuses, or for whatever reason, I couldn't get fights.
And I think it's pretty important because like I'll call it when I see it like that. But also when you took on Jake Piper's an absolute stud. Like he's one of the best prospects going around, and you took care of him pretty well. So I'm really glad you had that fight because I feel like it gave even just someone like myself, like it's not like we got carried away and you're just smashing these guys from Bali. Like when you finally got a guy that was a highly touted prospect, you took care of him pretty easily too.
Yeah, well, I'm under no illusion that like I definitely think the Aussie scene has way higher competition and is a good level. But also, some of them are just pussies. Some of them aren't taking fights that they should. Like they're like that, like they are good, but like fight. You're a fighter.
And is that mad frustrating? Because obviously, like you're at freestyle, you've essentially moved your whole life over, like to follow your dream and train, and the hardest part that people talk about, which is getting in the cage, for some reason, is the hardest thing to make happen.
Yeah, like I remember moving over to Australia. Like I was like, oh, this game, I'm going to get 70 fights. I'm just going to get them back to back. And then still, I've only had one fight in Australia.
I didn't think about that.
Which I've had 4 fights now, which isn't too bad, but they've all been overseas, except for one.
Do you know if Joe Lopez, your coach, has been like offered any fights that maybe he's turned down without you knowing?
Possibly. I think he's talked to me about most of them. A lot of them, well, most of them, we said yes. If he has, maybe he has my best interest. But as far as I'm aware, I've pretty much taken all the fights that I've been offered.
This is an accidental stare up, but would you be mad if you found out like he was turning down fights without telling you? Or do you trust him?
I do trust it. It would be a little bit annoying, but I also feel like if he was doing it, it would be for my best interest anyway. Like,
yeah. I'm actually weirdly, and I know you hate this as well, but I'm actually a big believer in like when you're a professional, like you should pick and choose your fights a little bit more because you're a business. And as you know, in the training room, like you can lose to anyone at any given time, and that could be sort of your career over. And we know heaps of guys that should be in the UFC, but their record just isn't good enough type thing. And that's at the end of the day, it comes down to like performance. But in that sense, it's like, is it frustrating that when you get to pro, it's very much guys like picking and choosing the easiest path or the best path?
Yeah, I felt like even maybe like 2 years ago, like Aussie wasn't even as bad as that. Like I feel like everyone was like fighting each other, and it looked like it was a really. I still feel like the level was very high, but I feel like there's a bit more picking and choosing now.
Yeah,
which is a bit disappointing. It's almost heading more towards like boxing.
Yeah, well, and do you think that, I mean, like, what is your plan? Because you're kind of getting into a weird spot where you're say you win on the weekend 5-0, right? That makes you like that's contender series level of a record. But you probably, and I'm going to speak for you here, you probably don't want that opportunity so soon because then you're only going to have had, like 2 real fights.
That's I would definitely. I feel like those opportunities are going to come, and I'm not really in a rush to get. I'll go like not looking past Liam, but hopefully I get this belt, and hopefully that encourages more people to fight me, so I can get a few more fights, like high level fights in Australia, or I don't know, maybe some more international ones as well. But yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. I'd definitely like a few more fights before I went onto something bigger.
Is that the plan, to get the belt and then it's like people have to fight you?
I hope it puts a target on my back, to be honest. Like people talk about, that is the plan. Get the belt and then have a big target on my back and people call me out and want to fight me.
Is there anyone out there that you've really tried to fight and they've just wanted nothing?
Nah, like, even like a few international ones, like trying to fight on Bali, like I've chosen some more higher level guys with like some pretty good records, and they've just said no, like which is maybe it's because they've got a lot more to lose if they lose to someone with like a lesser record, but also they're a fighter. Like take the fight. I've got stuff to lose if I lose to some of these people in Bali as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like kind of where you train, who you train with, your amateur record has kind of like hurt you?
Yeah, for the meantime. Hopefully later it helps me, but for the start, yeah, definitely. I think people see like, oh, he trains at that gym, and then they see my amateur record, they're like, oh fuck, that's a hard fight.
Now, I asked Marwan Rahiki this with George Mangos because he's trying to take his teammate's belt. You're trying to take your teammate's belt. If you win, will Colby be like, but you're not really the champion?
Highly likely, yeah. It'll be like, you're getting my second, so it's all right.
And then are you guys going to do like a round in the gym? No one's around, or
Yeah,
just you guys know that
that,
it's for the belt?
that's us most days.
Who wins?
It's pretty competitive, but there's a reason he's in the UFC and I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that. I like that. And he tried to pull off the buggy choke in the UFC. Can he actually do that?
He's actually pretty good at it. He has got some annoying chokes that he's really good at.
And you've got this real like almost like little emulation of like a mini Volk. Have you picked that up, or was that always sort of your fight style?
No, that was always kind of my fight style, but I don't know, always kind of had an interest in his style, and also like moving over here, I was like, obviously I'm not him, but like a lot of 90% of things that he can do is mostly going to work for me as well. So I definitely try and pick up as much as I can from him.
And I was gonna say, have you like obviously train with him every day? Have you seen the size of him and gone like, oh shit, that's a featherweight?
Yes, that that is why I'm like, yeah, I'm a bantamweight.
Yeah.
That and just like feeling him, I'm like, sweet, bantamweight it is.
Maybe even flyweight.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And do you like sort of bantamweight? Is bantamweight now going to be every fight, or you still take just any fight you can get?
I may take a featherweight fight here and there, but I think I'm my best at bantamweight. I think flyweight would be probably too much of a push for me. Unless
you reckon you could do it?
maybe if I had smaller legs, I hold a lot of weight in my legs, so no.
I mean, mate, talk about your move over. Like, when did you decide to make the jump across the ditch?
It would have been, when was it? So 2025. Moved over the end of last year. No, sorry, the year before. So end of 2023. So I pretty much, so I did Worlds in 2020, the start of 2023, and then that year I was planning on going back to Worlds again for amateur, but then for whatever reason, or for a few reasons, New Zealand and Aussie kind of pulled out of the IMF for their own reasons. So that kind of fell through. So that kind of led me, I wanted to go pro. Or to be honest, I remember being in New Zealand for that whole year, just trying to get a fight. And I was struggling. Whatever shows were falling over, people were pulling out. And then I think it was May. I originally came over here for maybe 3 weeks just to, I suppose, train with Volk and the team. That was when he was in camp for Yaya. And then so I just came for 3 weeks, went back home. I knew I kind of wanted to come back. And then I got the opportunity to go to City Kickboxing for that Relentless show. And that was pretty much the time that I just went all into fighting. I quit my job, and however that worked out, I knew I was going to be going all in on fighting, and then did that show. So that was 8 weeks, just got to pretty much live as a pro fighter, training at a top gym. Literally went home 2 weeks, and then just pretty much packed my bags and moved over here, and that was in November.
You would have done the same sort of, walk into the gym, get to train there, but still sort of fund yourself. Why didn't you stick around in New Zealand and just go to City Kickboxing? Because I believe the TV show was for a sponsorship, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't get the sponsorship, and
you thought, fuck them.
Exactly. Nah, I'd already been to Freestyle, and I've been to City. To be honest, it's both awesome gyms. I don't know. I definitely gelled with the people at Freestyle a lot, and it was just a bit smaller. I kind of liked as well. And to be honest, if I could, I don't know, be around Volk, I think he's the GOAT. I just thought that would be the best for me, really.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
I didn't think like I could have any better training partner than getting to train or just like rub shoulders with literally the best fighter in the world.
Yeah. Did friends and family think you're a bit of a dog for leaving, or?
Possibly. They probably just like, it was kind of quick move as well, and just kind of packed my bags and left. But I don't know. I'm doing what's best for me. I imagine they support that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. There is like a little weird exchange program where like, I think like Nate Law's here, the Maokis are over there. Like it's kind of cool that there's like a few little trades.
Yeah, little trades. Yeah, but I don't know, I kind of liked moving countries as well, like just leaving everything and coming over here just to focus on fighting. Um,
Are you working?
yeah, I work part time in a bar, so I'm a bartender, and then
Oi.
do a couple of PTs sometimes, and then apart from that, just train full time during the week.
How's the late nights deal for training?
Uh, they're not too bad. Like I don't have to work too late at nights, but yeah, they still rip me Fridays and Saturday nights.
And you talked about obviously training with Volk. Is there a moment where you kind of maybe you landed a punch or you got a takedown or something like that, and you were like, "Oh man, I belong here."
No, sometimes he's being nice, but then I don't know if you do land something good. Usually, I don't know, he might cop something back, or even though he's the nicest guy in the world, but yeah, no, there's definitely levels to it, and you feel that.
It's like the 10th round of a Shark Tank, and you land a jab or something, and you're like, "Yeah."
That's pretty much it. He's he's on the fifth round of his meat grinder.
Yeah.
Like the last 30 seconds, he might get something, but you know what? I'll take those small ones.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you've done it. Like you beat him. Like,
Yeah, exactly. If I was fresh and he was tired, I would have beat him.
what's the has he kind of taught you anything in terms of like life, how to balance life, or anything in training that you've really taken?
A lot of things in training, like I suppose just like I know he's very good at just teaching like concepts and like giving you ideas how to do them. So yeah, a lot of things grappling and striking really. Not so much, not really life. He's always down for a chat and always very willing to help you. Even when he's like last few weeks of fight camp, he'll be there coaching other people and helping people out, which is pretty awesome.
And who do you gravitate to most at freestyle? Is it Colby?
Yeah, me and Colby, I gel well, especially as training partners. We both back and forth pretty well, both bantamweights. But everyone there is everyone's got like different kind of skill sets as well. So we all kind of just feed off each other. It's really, yeah, it's a good gym to be in.
And what do you reckon you'd be doing if you weren't chasing the MMA dream?
Probably still building.
As a New Zealander, aren't you supposed to scaffold here? Like you have to, like it's.
I think, I don't know.
And why did you even get into mixed martial arts to begin with?
Originally, I started like jiu-jitsu at my local school. And that was just because my friend, I think I was 7 and my friend was like doing it. I think he said it was like ninjutsu or something to start with. So I
Was
went
that at
along.
school? At school?
It was like at our school, out of school time, but
Yeah.
at our school, yeah. So
Oh,
it was
cool.
like, so I ended up doing that, and then I think I did it for maybe like 6 months or something. Stopped, and then it was actually my brother ended up going and starting, and then he started watching UFC, and then he kind of got me watching UFC, and then I was like, oh, this is what I used to do. Like, I used to like, and then I ended up going back to the same gym. And he was already training and I went back to training, and then we both ended up going to a wrestling gym and kind of getting into striking, and then just kind of, so I wrestled from like 10 to maybe like 13, and then I think I was like, I want to fight. So I started fighting boxing, and then did that to about 17, and then had like a break when I kind of turned 18, and then ended up going back to wrestling and just started MMA from there, really.
How old are you now?
24, just turned 24.
How's your family feel about it? Are they supporting the dream or?
Yeah, it's just mum and my brothers. And yeah, mum's pretty good. She's just like, do what you want to do.
She watch you fight?
Yeah, she's actually pretty good. Like compared to like most parents. Like I suppose she's been around me and my brother fighting for quite a few years, so she's pretty good about it. She knows what she's talking about.
And tell me to go fuck myself if you want, but did you know your dad? Were you close to him, or what's the story there?
I knew him till I was about 7, and then he just was a piece of shit, really, and left. That's the end of that.
Yeah, that's so. There's not. Is there anything in there that's kind of like that's why you fight because you get real mad or anything like that?
Not really. I don't know. I must have some kind of something that makes me
Deep down,
fight.
yeah.
But I don't know. I've never really. Well, I was pretty young when he left, so it wasn't like I had to. Maybe my older brothers, like they grew up with a dad, and then he just was suddenly not there. I was pretty young. I didn't really know what was going on, and then I was just kind of grown up with no dad. So I've never known anything different.
Yeah, so maybe they have the problems and they passed it down to you by beating you up,
Exactly.
and then
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's probably more correct.
no, that's cool, man. That's cool. In terms of the fight night coming up May 31st, like what's your thoughts on Liam Gusti and what's sort of the preparation been like?
Preparation's been pretty awesome. Probably the biggest change just training for a 5-round fight. So I'm feeling like I'm the fittest I have been. I always feel pretty sharp. I'm feeling even sharper this one. I know I've got a good dance partner in front of me as well. Like he's going to come to fight. He's pretty like new to the pro game, but he's also had quite a few amateur fights and he's a pretty good test. But to be honest, I think he's going to bring the best out of me as well. He's going to be like he's pretty aggressive on the feet. He wrestles as well. I'm kind of going to do everything to beat him. But I think if I can fight the way I can, then I smash him really.
And doesn't he have like Indonesian heritage too? So you're like continuing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, does he know he's fighting the King of Bali?
That's cool. I like that.
He's saying he's the first, or going to be the first pro Balinese MMA fighter or something.
That's cool.
Which I don't know. Which is kind of, I don't know. Yeah, well, I've already been beating people in Bali, and I'm going to beat him in his backyard.
Your hate on Bali continues. But after it's all said and done, how does Kasib Murdoch want to be remembered in mixed martial arts?
Just someone, I don't know, just who loved the sport and fought anyone, and was just a real game competitor, I guess.
Awesome, mate. I really appreciate you taking the time. You're one of the nicest guys in all of mixed martial arts in this country, in a sport that has a lot of dicks in it. You're not one of them. So
thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Everyone, and especially because like Colby, you got to make up for him. So
yeah, I'm making up for him.
Thanks, mate. I'll see you in Melbourne.
Catch you later. See you there.